Welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with purpose and passion. I'm your host and valedictorian, Eric Brotman. Welcome to Office Hours, where we answer listeners' questions about personal finance, retirement readiness, and more. We received a question from Noah, who asked, what can you tell someone in their 20s who is already worried about not being able to retire in the future? Noah, great question. I hope if you're in that boat, because I know you're not just asking for a friend, if you're in that boat, I feel for you, because that is a lot of stress to put on yourself early in your working career and early in your life. If you are already concerned about being able to retire, there's good news. Number one, time is on your side. You have the ability to grow significant wealth just by having a plan, having positive cash flow, and putting away a reasonable percentage of what you earn over a period of many, many years. You have your whole career in front of you, so that's good news. The other good news is that because this isn't happening immediately, but you're already thinking about it, you're already ahead of the game. So thinking about it is a very positive thing. Obsessing and worrying is never positive, but being aware and starting to concentrate on it is a very good thing, because retirement is the only thing in our financial lives for which there is no loan. You cannot borrow to retire. You can borrow for anything else. You can borrow for education. You can borrow potentially for healthcare. You can borrow for anything except retirement. So I absolutely applaud you for thinking in your 20s about your retirement. A lot of people wait until they're in their 40s or 50s and then say, oh my gosh, I'm behind, now what? So that's the good news. Let's talk about the bad news. The bad news is that starting early, which is a good thing, does mean that you're going to see some really big numbers in your projections, because the impact of inflation and the estimate for what you're going to earn in your 30s and 40s and 50s starts to be a very large number. And sometimes when you look at a projection, it feels so insurmountable that you almost don't know where to start. And so if I said to you, well, you're making $60,000 a year and you're going to need $8 million to retire, the look on your face would be potentially one that was distraught. And yet, mathematically, it might not be impossible to get there. In fact, it might be perfectly doable with 30, 40, 50 years on your side. So when you see the big numbers at the end of a projection as a young person, try not to panic, because you have to remember that our grandparents paid for their homes what we pay for cars. That's just inflation, and that's what happens to the value of a dollar over time. So take a deep breath. Try not to worry about things you can't control. Control what you can. Control your spending. To the extent you're able, control your earnings. Control your behavior. Your behavior is the biggest determinant to whether you're successful or not. It means making good decisions financially. It means sticking to your guns when markets or economies are tough. It means making sure that you're putting away X dollars, whatever that percentage is, and that every time you get a raise, you keep that percentage the same. Whether it's 8% or 12% or 27%, that I can't tell you, because that requires us to sit and do some math. But whatever it is, keep it level as a percentage or increase it as a percentage. Never go backwards. Because if when you get a raise, you do not add additional monies to keep your percentage the same, you're actually going to be falling further behind. It's like being on a treadmill. When the treadmill speeds up, you better speed up too, or you're going to fly off the back. So Noah, it's a great question. Try not to panic. You have time. Try to plan, because that's one of the things that you have on your side. You have a long horizon. I give you an enormous amount of credit for thinking about this early. I wish I had thought about it sometimes earlier than I did, and I sure wish that most of our clients had thought about it before they did, because it is so hard to pick that ball up at 35 or 45 or 55 and try and still make the play. It's just so tough. So you have that going for you. I wish you incredible luck. If we can help, of course, be in touch. We would love to work with you. And obsessing, being worried is never fun, but being prepared is always wise. So I think you're barking up the right tree. Just try and pace yourself. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to go from 0 to 60 instantly. That creates whiplash. So Noah, thanks for your question. It was really, really a good one. If you'd like to send us a question for a future episode of Office Hours, please post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Brotman Planning. I'd like to thank all of you for listening today, and we'd love to hear from you. So please send us a message or leave us comments at don'tretiregraduate.com or on social media, or leave ratings and reviews on your favorite podcast platform. Those are priceless to us, and we appreciate them. If you enjoy the show, don't keep us a secret. Share it with your friends and family so they can join you on your path to financial freedom. For now, this is your host, Eric Brotman, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC, Kestra IS, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC, Kestra AS, an affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.
How much do you understand the future of finance? I'm Jim Roos, a top 10 banking influencer and host of the podcast Banking Transformed, where we dive deeply into the rapidly evolving world of banking and financial technology. Join me as I interview industry experts, thought leaders, and innovators as they unravel the latest banking trends, disruptions, and game-changing technologies reshaping the world of finance. Redefine your understanding of the banking ecosystem. Subscribe now to Banking Transformed, available wherever you get your podcast and now available on YouTube.